Look, I totally get it. You are someone who might be watching this video because you just want to hear what someone who knows a bit more or a lot more about the crypto market than you do, to hear their predictions on an altcoin that you want to buy or that you might be holding. Okay, well, that's the premise and the idea behind this video, is to give you what I think over 70 altcoins will be from today's price to around about their all-time high of this bull run. I spend a lot of time sitting in this chair researching these altcoins and making sure that I'm providing the best information to you all. So I'm going to kind of use some of my knowledge today and put it to the test and rank these altcoins on a massive scale. Now, I've done plenty of these tier list videos, mind you. The reason why this one is going to be different is because we are ranking, as I said, like 70 coins here. We're going to have to be quite quick, mind you. These are the ones I think you need to collect, or at least might want to collect before the Bitcoin halving. Not financial advice, of course. And with that being said, it's not an educational video today, but if you find yourself enjoying yourself, drop a like on the video. It really helps me out. And subscribe so you can achieve your crypto goals. Now, look, I don't want to reiterate this too much because it's spread around there and it's the next big crypto event that's happening, so everyone's buzzing about it. But the Bitcoin halving is 54 days away. And the reason I'm saying this is because while I know you're all smart, and if you're someone who doesn't think you're smart, by the way, you are. You just got to apply yourself, right? We're all smart enough to realize that the Bitcoin halving is almost the exact same as pressing that fire alarm at your apartment complex, right? We all want to do it. We all know if we do press it, everyone's going to be awake and pissed off, except in this case, the Bitcoin halving is essentially that alarm that always goes off every 4 years, except instead of being pissed, everyone celebrates and is happy. And it brings money in the market, okay, which is why it might be more important than ever for you to assess some of these multiples. Don't take them as literal. I always get people that say, Kyle, what's your prediction? And then take it literally. This is my interpretation based on the data I've seen and based on me trying to be as on the middle of the fence and objective as possible. But please go ahead and do some of your own research, take in multiple different ideas, and just remember, at the end of the day, guys, literally what happens? It is a market. Something might change tomorrow that makes an altcoin go from a 50x down to a 10x. There are such variables in crypto, which is why, side note, it pisses me off when I have people saying you flip your decisions week to week. I just go with what the market and the coin is telling me. That's all. None of my opinions taken into consideration here. I just want to be ahead of the market and also to make sure I'm not screwing myself over. Now, look, if you are someone that wants to know how the hell is you going through like 70 predictions here quite quickly, well, it's because I'm leveraging my price prediction sheet. Now, you guys can't see this, but I've added a whole heap more data in here. I've also going to be adding in my own price predictions. So people who have access to this sheet in my tier 2, the vault, my private community link will be, of course, down below. We'll have access to this. Now, I'm not trying to convince you all to go ahead and spend some money on me. That's not what I'm saying. It is a shameless plug. Yes, I do admit, but I did want to, of course, point it out for anyone who does want to have that in their back pocket. This was the last tier list video that I did upload on the channel, at least a full tier list video. I'm kind of jealous because this was 24 minutes and I almost can guarantee this one will be longer than that. But we're going to probably come towards the end of the video back to this and just kind of see what is left, what is right, what is up, and what is down. Kind of compare it to back then, right? And I will be, of course, using my tier list chart over here. These are all the altcoins we have in this list. I know there might be too many. And this is how we're going to be ranking them today on a scale of 50x plus, and based on popular demand, we're going to be breaking these multiples up a little bit from a 5x, 10x, 15x up to a 50x. Okay, so multiples of 5 rather than grouping more abstractly, if that makes sense. So let's not waste any more time and begin. So first coin is Ather. Now, this is one that's a new DeepIn project, and I will spend a second here talking about my thoughts because it's this new project that hasn't actually launched just yet. Ather is a coin that is basically and don't hate me if you're a render follower, by the way, I personally am at least, they're doing more and offering more than something like Render, for example, right? Not as distributed and decentralized as Render, mind you, but they're offering a basically enterprise demand right off the rip based on the chips, the H100 chips built specifically for large language models. So it's basically a render designed for large language models for enterprise use right off the rip and also for gaming as well. So this is a very interesting project. We're looking to get our hands on some of these tokens for the venture capital in the private community as well. And it's hard for me to say what this will actually go to because, I mean, it's not launched yet and I have no real information on it. So I'm going to put it right in the middle of the pack out of 30x because I think that just the meme in of itself is very amazing. SingularityNET, AGIX, I mean, guys, it's like 3x in the last 7 days, right? So we have to go from today's prices. And mind you, if I can kind of come find it over here, if I just Control F, SingularityNET, it's already 960 million. I remember when I saw it at about a 350 million market cap. So in my opinion, I think that AGIX, probably from this market cap, just because it is an AI, I still think it's going to probably 20x, maybe even 25x, to be honest with you. A cash, obviously we know our cash is again in DPIN as well. It's doing a lot of the things, obviously Ather is, but apparently, Ather is a lot more enterprise focused. Either way, it's more marketplace focus, at least the cash is in this case. So I might put it right next to Ather. It depends on what the current market cap is. Let's have a quick look here. Okay, so 900 mil market cap. I definitely would be comfortable with that. And if you want to why is Kyron looking at the market caps? Well, market cap's important, right? We look at the quality of the project, how pretty much explosive it really is, and then we can kind of compare that to the current market cap and say, well, okay, the project is under or overvalued right now versus actually what the type of project is. Again, these predictions will change week to week, day to day even. Like what stands today might change tomorrow. So just keep that in mind and do not base any of your own predictions from this, please, okay? That's why the prediction sheet's up there anyway, so more up-to-date information at least. For Algorand's actually recently kind of moved up a little bit. Algorand over here to 1.6 billion market cap project, now at 20 cents. I remember when it was down to 9 cents. I think we can at least see another 20x out of here from Algorand ideally. For API3 is an Oracle network as well, 330 mil market cap. I think a lot of the market share was taken up by Pith, to be honest with you, that where this project could have went. I'm going to still put it at a 20x because of the market cap still so low, and it's obviously a quality project in of itself, first-party oracles. Aptos, I'm going to admit there's going to be some projects in this list that I'm not too fond of, or at least don't know a lot about. Aptos is one of them. I do know it does still have a very strong and growing community. So I'm going to put it in the, well, let's have a look at what the market cap was again, 3.5 billion. I think just based on pure the type of project it is, the reputation it has in the space, yes, there is some concerns about it. I'm going to put it at a 20, maybe 15x, just to be safe, because I don't know enough about it, right? Next, we have Arweave. I know you can't really see that very much. 1 billion market cap. Again, Arweave is another DPIN project as well. A lot of DPIN projects. So I think Arweave can likely 20x. And again, I haven't done a lot of research on Arweave, but I do like the project, proof of work, all that sort of stuff. I think it holds a lot of value, right? Especially, I actually think probably the storage system on Arweave might even be better than Filecoin. Who knows? It's up to debate. For Arbitrum, look, Arbitrum, has a massive unlock happening this year. It's basically diluting the supply by 2x, but I think people are joking if they think that's going to actually have an impact on the price. It's, it doesn't unless it goes to what I call third parties, or basically people who are going to sell their tokens on the open market. In terms of the market cap, 2.3 billion. Honestly, I would be kind of crazy if I put it, I think, any less than honestly, I think it can hit a 40 billion market cap, no problem at all. Now, Ace is an interesting one. It is a layer 2 project, recently migrated over to, well, it's still on Polkadot, but it has part of its, I think, a new layer built on the Polygon SDK, or at least is implemented with Polygon ZK EVM. So it's definitely broadening its horizons, and it actually has pumped up. It was like a 200 or 300 million market cap project. And I think this guy's eaten the market share a lot from Moonbeam, if I'm going to be completely honest with you. I think this guy's going to be a dark horse of the bull run. I'm going to say 25x, but I think I could be very, very well undershooting this project. In terms of ADA, look, I think a lot of the momentum for ADA personally has probably diminished over the course of time. Where are you, ADA? Down here, 20 billion market cap, 21 billion market cap. Look, I'm going to get hate from the ADA community. I love ADA, by the way. Charles is one of my heroes. I love Charles a lot. So fundamentally great project. I think the tech is great. All that's great, but people shit on ADA for some reason, and I think that's going to actually kind of be a little bit in its detriment. I know it shouldn't be like that. Very tribal, very stupid space we live in. Honestly, it is. But based on the market cap, look, if we simply 10x 20 billion, where are you, ADA? I keep losing you. 20 billion, that's 200 billion market cap, right? So it won't go any more than a 15x, I don't believe, from the current price. In terms of Cosmos Atom, that's a 4 billion market cap project. Obviously, the fact that it's got all of these really good airdrops that have recently come out of it has really helped. Part of the upgrades that they're looking to do is remove inflation, but also now they're trying to figure out a way to make sure there's incentivization for nodes to keep securing. So depending on how that progresses, and I haven't caught up to speed with it, it might be good or very bad for Atom. So I think from the current price, I probably would say a 15x, maybe even a 20x. I might be undershooting the project a bit here. In terms of AVAX, another high market cap project. So, 13, 14 billion market cap. So I think I'd be kind of crazy if I gave it any more than a 15x. And I think a 15x, I might be really trying to aim for the very peak here. So yeah, look, let's just write a 15x, but I think will be the very, very peak of the project. I think the gaming aspect will help maybe push it up to challenging a 20x possibly. LF0 is one I haven't covered a lot recently, especially on the channel. I have a little bit, of course, on my Twitter. By the way, go follow me on Twitter for God's sake. You are going to be absolutely so much more informed following me over there. But this guy's only at 355 million market cap, and they're in a whole bunch of narratives. The problem is they're in so many amazing narratives that I think they've kind of lost track of what they actually really inherently belong to. They obviously are focused on privacy and all the rest of it, ZKPs and all that sort of stuff, but they just do so much. It's kind of incredible. If they bring it to life, it's going to be a 100x project maybe, but I think there's so much behind it that it might be a bit confusing for the investor. Either way, I think it is another dark horse, just like ASTUP, so 25x. Bitcoin Cash, Mark, you guys all know Mark. He doesn't love Bitcoin Cash. He just thinks it's undervalued. And so I've got to take his opinion on board here because I do trust what he says. It's a 5.2 billion market cap project, and I'm probably going to put it at about another 15x, actually, because of Mark's opinion here. Beam actually has shot up quite a little bit in the last, I think, 7 days or so, or maybe last month. It's now 1.6 billion market cap. I think it's about 2x pretty well from the last couple of weeks here. So it's a bit unfortunate. So I'd probably put Beam at about a 20x. Apparently, Becker and a lot of people reckon that, Beam's market cap at one point should be about the same size or half the size of Avalanche's, which is, of course, it's a subnet on Avalanche. So we'll see how that progresses. But if it does in this case, I think about a 20x would sound about right. BNB, you guys know I hate BNB. I don't even care if BNB, plays into the whole tribal aspect. Yeah, you can shoot me, but I think BNB is definitely a project that has just nothing but cesspit projects built on it. And while it might 10x, I'm not going to encourage anyone to look at a BNB. For Bitcoin Satoshi Vision, I don't even know if it's really on here. It is actually on here because I know there's a lot of bad blood with these guys and, Binance, which obviously owns CoinMarketCap. Anyway, so these guys are currently $75. They were sitting about $40-50, I think, for most of the bear market. 1.4 billion in market cap. It's a great project, but there is a lot of discrimination against it, a lot of that tribalism. But I do think we probably see a 15, maybe 20x out of the project. Bitcoin, of course, easy 5x. Casper in this case, where they had that recent IPW drama, one of the major projects on the ecosystem, actually went bankrupt, scared a lot of people. I think it was a whole bunch of nonsense. I wouldn't have been scared out of the project. Honestly, I have sold my position in Casper because I'm looking to be involved in more Web3 focused projects, but I still think we can look at easily a 20x from here. Celestia, in my opinion, at least from the current price or market cap of 2.8 billion, it is a new project focused on a massive aspect of crypto, at least in this cycle, data availability. I think we could see a 15x, probably even more from Celestia. Call me conservative, that's okay. Dogecoin in this case, well, I think Doge is going to be a 5x, probably a 10x, but it's quite incredible how high the market cap is for this coin. $12 billion. Right, probably get a 10x. Maybe I'll put it in the 10x column, but that might be a stretch, all right? I think it's probably not going to kill meme coins this cycle, maybe next cycle, but I think more money might end up flowing into some of the smaller meme coins. And I think people are just smarter this time around, to be honest with you. Now, as for DOT, honestly, I was a very, very big bull on Polkadot for the longest time, and I'm not going to even be able to find it now, am I? And the reason I'm a bull on Polkadot, or at least was a big bull on Polkadot, was because of the ecosystem, and they're actually looking to upgrade many aspects of it. And I think it's going to be another dark horse. I think it's going to have another massive explosion when people least expect it, and it's probably being slept on right now. It is classified as not a security, so it's a commodity. People don't realize that. So anyway, I think it's just a matter of time. As for the multiples, look, DOT's actually not a high market cap, 10 billion compared to what it really should be, in my opinion. So I'm going to put it at a 15x from here. Multiverse X in the gaming, in the metaverse space by pure name nature, but it's a lot more than that. It is a very scalable layer one, fits into modularity, fits into scalability, fits into a whole bunch of aspects people have been raving on about for a long time now. So inherently, it's going to do really well. I actually bought a whole bunch of these. I actually put $10,000 into this project recently myself. So 1.5 billion market cap. I think realistically, it's probably going to 25x, maybe even more. As for Ethereum, again, I think a 5x here. Ethereum Cash, not going to spend too much time on that. Fetch recently popped off quite a lot, actually, which is good to see because it was soon after they had that kind of scary news of a possible bankruptcy. $1.12, yes, it's up quite a lot right now. But I think even from this price, the market cap-wise, 900 million, I think this project would be very easily $1 billion, like it really should have been. So I think it's right on target for where it should be, and I think we can look at another 25 to maybe even 30x, but I would put it on par with SingularityNET, to be honest with you. As for Filecoin, obviously one of the granddaddies of crypto, 4.2 billion market cap. I mean, you can't go wrong with Filecoin. As for storage being a really massive part of the bull run, well, I actually made a video for tomorrow night touching on storage, and it's one of the first narratives that popped off in addition with DeFi in the last cycle. I think it's going to still be a very good project for the cycle. I'm honestly going to probably say between a 10 to a 15x for Filecoin, probably push a 15 here. As for Flux, not spending too much more time on this, let's throw it in a 50x. However, it has recently pumped up a bit, went to 90 cents, like 3x basically, or 2x. 300 mil market cap is still very, very tiny. Let's just be, I think let's just be a little bit more conservative and say 45x. We briefly interrupt this program with an announcement from LandRocker, a new and exciting play-to-earn and play-to-win game that takes intergalactic space travel to the extreme. Now, have you ever been in a situation where you're wanting to make some extra cash with crypto, but you can't be bothered watching an entire no BS crypto video? Well, LandRocker is a Web3 game that allows you to do just that. If you're wanting to enjoy yourself by immersing into a game that offers real rewards with the upside of being a play-to-win game, meaning the more you play, the more you win, then this is your chance. LandRocker throws you into a universe where you travel the galaxy in a rover tasked with mining and exploring in an attempt to accrue rewards to craft into NFTs to use or trade on their marketplace. The game has two versions, both Pro and Lite, with Pro offering a diverse range of gameplay modes like PvP battles, high-speed racing challenges, last man standing showdowns, material hunts, and a lot more, while their light version allows for quick and simple mining without any obstacles or challenges. Sounds like the one for me. The key component of LandRocker is that it's a fair and immersive game first, with an inbuilt AI to the system, ensuring a truly equitable experience for everyone. So yeah, you can't really blame the game for cheating you ever again. And also, in some recent news, LandRocker is officially available on Immutable X after their recent partnership have given them exclusive access to the Web3 gaming hub giant, so that of course is super bullish. Now, LandRocker's seed round is still available, as you can see on your screen, so if you were interested in participating, I'll leave some links down below. But remember, of course, please go ahead and do your own research before you invest in the project. And with that said, let's get back to the video. As for Gala, I've seen a few guys in the private community talk about Gala. Doesn't have much buzz around it anymore, really, does it? Ever since the news of the founders or co-founder and ex-founder kind of fighting a little bit with a lawsuit, possibly, I think it's moved out of the way, but I think it's going to make a good comeback. To be honest with you, I think from this price, maybe a 20x is in line. I feel kind of sorry for Moonbeam, to be honest with you guys, because as I mentioned, it's kind of lacking here a little bit, and Ather, its main competitor, has just absolutely dominated in terms of overall market penetration. 363 million market cap. Don't let that disincentivize you. We were talking about this when it was at 16 cents. So it's at 43 cents right now. So honestly, Moonbeam, I think we can probably see even more multiples made out of this than something like Ather. I'm going to put it at about 35x because the founder, Derek, and I've interviewed Derek, I think he's a very, very smart guy, and there's definitely a strong team behind this project. There is going to be something based on history that will likely prove strong. However, I want to say, actually, something you might not know is there is a planned possible upgrade. There was a big thread from a Polkadot developer that they might want to start up a permanent sidechain on Polkadot that would allow a constant EVM state on Polkadot completely for free, right? It was just run by the community and not, Ather or Moonbeam, which might put a bit of a dent in these projects, but there is something to say for and against that in terms of economic value and stuff. The graph's done very well recently, and I think a lot of people have begun talking about it more, which is good to see. I really, really liked, if we can all make money, we can all make money. No point trying to say my project's better than yours, honestly. So 2.7 billion market cap project. I think Graph can definitely fly a lot more, but it's probably a little bit overbought for what I would like right now. So I think the multiples can be more, but on a retracement, so I'm going to say from this point, probably a 20x, just because it has that wow factor. Very much an infrastructure project, so it doesn't align with my true values of what a project would have to kind of be or be in to be a powerful player in this bull run at least. But I think the graph will likely shine through in the next cycle where infrastructure-based projects really take off. Hedera, you guys know HBAR. I love the project, but let's just keep it real here for a second. Is HBAR from the current price going to still hit the multiples I'm expecting? Well, it's currently at 10 cents. Good to see. I am predicting no more than about $2 on the highest side, but I think more of a $1.50 token is likely. So that's about a 15x from here. As for Helium, HNT 1.3, it's a deep in project, right? Also in IoT and cellular networks, obviously. So there's been a lot of buzz around this and some pretty big partnerships recently as well. So honestly, at 1.3 billion market cap, I think we're looking at a 25x for this bad boy this cycle, which is good to see because there was a lot of controversy around this last cycle. ICP, God, I love ICP so much. It's right up there with HBAR as one of my all-time favorite projects. 5.7 billion market cap, to be honest with you. I think it's a little bit high. I think it's going to sound crazy putting it higher than HBAR, but it's just because it has more notoriety. It's more known in the ecosystem so far. So even though it's basically 50% higher market cap than HBAR, I think it can definitely sit next to HBAR at a 15x, maybe a little bit less, probably a 13x, but I still think it definitely is on par there. Illuvium, I know Illuvium's quite high in my price prediction sheet. The data came up some crazy high multiples, and I'm actually going to kind of lean onto that as well. So now here's the thing. Illuvium, if I can find it, here it is. It's currently only at a 300 million market cap, and depending on how powerful gaming can be in this cycle, which I think it will be, I think Illuvium will do really, really well. It is an older game. People like the newer, fresher stuff. But again, it all comes down to how fresh it is. If they're constantly updating the game and bringing out new things, and if they have a really unique and addictive gameplay loop in their actual game itself, the free-to-play, the roaming game, I think it's going to be great. I think people really want to play something like that. This AAA, even though I don't think it is a AAA game, this AAA game atmosphere, right? This, I don't even know gaming terms, right? Whenever you just run around as a third-party character and you get to interact with the environment, that looks really awesome, okay? IMX, I can't speak any more highly than of IMX, honestly. It's such a great project. I'm really sad. I actually was debating getting this project at $2, but I thought, no, I won't buy at $2 because it's too far gone. And honestly, knowing what I know now, looking for a 19x rather than a 30x, I could have scooped it up, but I don't think I will be getting my 19x out of the project. And if I do, I think it'll be a big stretch. So I think from here, I think putting it at about the 15x, lower 15x level is much more realistic in this case. And I think, just judging so far, I'm not too sure about checking this stuff. And this, by the way, was made way back when projects were a lot cheaper than currently. I already do feel like I'm a little bit more conservative in general anyway with these rankings, just because I'm kind of still putting my toes in the water with some of these coins. I think in the next 6 months, we'll really be able to tell how far these coins can grow based on what they have grown, so far. We haven't even had the halving yet, and so there's a lot to still be discovered in terms of price with these coins. So Injective being at a 3.1 billion market cap, I actually don't think that's too crazy at all. There's going to be a very big narrative forming, at least from what I've seen, around decentralized exchanges. Now, these have moved from the things like swapping features, right, like Uniswap and PancakeSwap in the last cycle. It's kind of reminiscent of, what it was like back then. And now we have projects like GRVT, Injective, for example, and a whole bunch of ones that you can basically use as layer one projects that have all the massive order books. And it's just kind of insane how far we've come. So this is definitely going to take precedence, I believe, as a narrative. As for the multiples, 3 billion market cap, it's a new project, so it's really hard to kind of gauge how it has performed versus what maybe it has in the past. But the multiples have been, rapidly, I think like 40x in the bear market. So I think I'd be kind of dreaming if I said any more than a 15x, or maybe even a 20x. But definitely fits in between these two categories. IOTA, they recently launched their whole Shimmer net, their sort of like test net, and this whole EVM like sidechain, if I remember correctly. But I do think IoT, which is what the narrative IOTA is in, isn't going to be the amazing narrative that it will be in the next cycle. So that definitely brings it down as a layer 1 project. It's great. They are going to be decentralizing networks soon when they get rid of their kind of like very centralized I guess single validator that checks the whole network. That'll bring some people into the project, but I think any more than a 15x, I would be joking. And it does feel a little bit weird, like putting some of these projects at low market caps with projects that can like 15x at a 3 billion valuation as well. But you've got to understand, again, it doesn't just come down to, hey, this project's lower, because you very well easily could just go to the smallest cap project and say, this will 1000x. And, you know, a project like, let's just say ICP might 5x. Like, it's very easy to do that. But knowing what I know, you're very much going to be wrong most of the time. You have to go on important metrics. And one of those very important metrics is how much interest it currently has. The reason projects pump is because people buy them. And people buy them because they know about them and they find it appealing. And no one's going to buy a project they don't find appealing or they don't know about. And that's why some of these projects at high market caps are sitting next to projects with much lower market caps that you might think is a good project. It's all about marketing in this damn industry. Jasmy, well, big congratulations to Jasmy holders, because you guys are absolutely killing it right now. You've made so much money. So happy and proud of you. As for me, not a fan of Jasmy whatsoever. Just being completely honest with you, but trying to keep things as on the fence as possible. I mean, that's what I kind of come back at, right? It's just, there's a network flywheel that I've spoken about in the private community and on the channel actually is in the past as well, that I think Jasmy has a very big sticking point. But once that ball starts rolling, it's going to be really good for the whole entire world. People call it the Bitcoin of Japan. I hate that term. It most definitely is not. So I think, honestly, you know, based on what I've just seen so far, this recent influx, mind you, I don't know the reason why. There could be a very, very good reason why, like whales buying, for example. I'm going to put it at about honestly a 20x based on that growth, right? Casper, this project, if you don't know, I mean, everyone knows Casper by now, actually a 4 billion market cap, which is crazy to see. This project was actually 100x in the bear market. I think Casper, based on pure hype alone, can probably come close to maybe 15, 20xing from here. I think maybe a 15x seems a little bit more real. Maybe a high 15x, maybe 17, 18x. Kadena is a competitor actually to Casper in this case, a proof of work network that's highly scalable. Their scalability is different. That's the reason why they obviously have two different ones here. And it's kind of crazy. One is literally 10x, or actually more than a 10x than the other, which is incredible to see. I think that Casper will gain the market share from Kadena, and obviously we have seen it has. I still think Kadena will do quite well, probably a 15x as well. Kusama is what's called the canary net of Polkadot, which is basically its test environment, even though it actually is a fully functioning public network itself. And last time I checked, Kusama's market cap was quite low. It still is. Just like most canary nets, these projects have a lot lower market supply than their main net, sister net, if you will. Okay, so I think Kusama will do pretty well in this case. Probably about a 25x sounds about right to me, and maybe I'm undershooting it by a few x's here. Okay, so Chainlink is next, and look, honestly, Chainlink is a fantastic project, 11 billion market cap. In my opinion, Chainlink should be at least a 20 billion market cap project. They're honestly doing so much for the space. Dominant Oracle, one of the most dominant, and at least I believe, interoperability projects now. They're doing tokenization. I mean, what's Chainlink not doing? And if you took Chainlink out of the market, honestly, crypto would stand still for quite a while. So in my opinion, this at least deserves a 15x, probably even could do more from this current price. As for Litecoin, the so-called silver of Bitcoin's gold, I mean, they're calling Casper the silver of Bitcoin's gold now. I mean, what really is? I think that's a term that people like using, right? 5 billion market cap. Like, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if we go any higher than a 50. Honestly, I'd probably put it like 13x, to be honest with you, but we'll put it in this category for now because it probably does fit in that lower 15x area. Madic is a sleeping giant, and I told you guys about this many, many times right now. I think that people are forgetting that Madic is the dominant layer 2, or at least, you know, there's definitely its competitors are beating it in stats. I just think that the unseen sort of growth it has based on the, you know, who it's connected with in the real world and the digital world is next level. So I think it's a matter of time. I think it'll be another Chainlink where people go one day, oh crap, and then everyone starts buying it based on FOMO. as high as the market cap is, I think it can 15x as well. Mina, actually, I'm looking to buy more Mina, to be honest with you guys. I got in very, very cheap. But from the current price of $1.30, I think we could probably see a $15 token, right? $15 for me sounds very realistic. Maybe even a $20 token as well. It could even be more. These guys have had like the top 5 growth in terms of developers out of all the cryptocurrency projects. And I've got a video coming on these guys soon, which is why I know that. So I actually think Mina can probably 20x, maybe even 25x. ZKPs is going to be a big narrative. Marinade, the largest liquid staking protocol, I believe still is on Solana. Solana's ecosystem will have a massive bull run in this cycle and itself. And so I think based on that, and it's a liquid staking token and also DeFi, I think we're in for a pretty good treat here. I want to put it in at 20x, but in saying that, what's the current market cap? That can't be right. It's definitely more than a 60 million market cap. For the sake of, I think it's around 600 million market cap or so, I'm going to put it at about a 20x. Moon River is obviously the canary net of Moonbeam, its sister, right? I think actually Moon River rather might actually probably go higher than Moonbeam, 40x. I actually have a feeling that this project might be, we didn't have it on this list. So I didn't have it on the list, but I just added it then. It's about half the size, give or take. So yeah, I think it can definitely 40x, at least do a bit more than its sister net over there on Polkadot. Next up, Near Protocol. So you guys know how much I love Near, and I did a recent revisit of the project where I initially thought it's probably going to hit a $30, $35 token price. Revisited that, and it looks more like it's probably going to go anywhere between a $60 to $80 token price, at least from my personal analysis. So that would put it about a 20x as well as these projects here. I mean, these guys have now focused on AI, which was actually the original reason why they founded Near Protocol. It was supposed to be an AI company. Ilya, one of the founders, actually co-created one of the very important parts of chat, these large language models, right? Which is the T in Chat GPT, right? These large language models. T-Sensor Transformer. He co-invented that, okay? And so they brought an AI marketplace out. They also went into data availability. They're also in modularity. There's a whole bunch of things that these guys are looking to do. So massive, massive project. Nillion, unreleased project. I'm going to still put it in the 50x column just to, kind of keep things nice and symmetrical. But again, we still have to see, what it kind of launches at as well. As for Oasis, I'm not too sure. I suggest you guys go ahead and check out a YouTuber called Market Mobster, which is this fine gentleman here. Give him a subscribe. He does some really great videos, but also follow him on Twitter because he is a big Polkadot and also Oasis network fan. And look, I honestly don't know with this project. I haven't done enough research. I know it is kind of like the enterprise competitor to Mina, focused on privacy. I believe ZKPs as well. Someone might even told me at one point they had their feet in China. I'm just not entirely sure. I would be kind of lying to you guys if I put it any higher on the price sheet here. So what's the market cap currently? Let's have a look. It was right underneath Near Protocol, 800 million market cap. So look, I'm going to probably put it at a very safe 10x, but that's an 8 billion market cap, give or take. Again, for the sake of, I'm not too sure. Optimism. I actually really like Optimism. There's a reason why, a lot of projects have chosen to build on the Optimism stack, and also they're connected to the Optimism superchain, which I love the idea. You actually need the Optimism token to vote in that mass governance. So they've designed the protocol, I at least believe, pretty well. There's been a few rumors here and there of some pretty dodgy stuff, but I seem to ignore those, to be honest with you. I don't think they hold much validity. So in my opinion, based on the market cap, where are we over here? Optimism, $3.5 billion. Again, a lot of tokens to still come out, but just remember, guys, it matters who they go to, not so much there's that massive unlock to still happen. So 3.5 billion market cap, I think we can probably see a 20x come out of the project, like its competitor Arbitrum. PokerStarter, look, honestly, PokerStarter deserves a top spot because it is a launch pad and it will definitely net you more than a 50x from your investments in the project. And even the project itself will likely net you about a 25 to 30x. So I think it definitely deserves that spot up there as well. Pith Network, big fan of. I think Pith can, I am following this project quite consistently because I am looking to get into it more. I've just started dollar cost averaging. Competitor to Chainlink has taken the demand, I believe, from API 3. It is a first-party Oracle. Fantastic project. One of the largest growth spurts I've ever seen in the crypto market, at least organic growth in a bear market. So there's nothing but good things to say about these guys. And by the way, stake your Pith. You actually can get into some airdrops here. There's no staking APY, but there is the chance to get into airdrops. Personally speaking, I think probably a 20 to 25x from the current price. I'm going to say a 25x. People are going to be like, well, Kyron, there is a large amount of tokens to still be unlocked. There's about a 4x dilution ahead. It is completely fine. I made many videos on it. It's going all to the right people, so there's nothing to be concerned about, in my opinion. Quant, I'm just going to throw Quant right up in the 15x. Render, I'm going to throw up in the 20x to save time here. Render's actually apparently possibly been incorporated in some degree with Apple, right, with the Apple headset. So, or at least one of Toys, which is the parent company that created Render, one of their products. Rune as well kind of fits back into the narrative I was talking about with Injective, big part of crypto. I actually got to give more respect to Rune, to be honest with you. I've kind of not crapped on it, but definitely haven't given it what it really deserves. And that's because I feel like CCIP and some of these other protocols might actually make it obsolete, at least eventually. 1.8 billion market cap. I think it probably goes somewhere in the 15x column as well. Solana, very easy with that one, 5x. Starknet, this is a very new project. I don't know if you guys know too much about Starknet. It is a layer 2 as well. There has been some controversy around this project, I believe, with its distribution of the airdrop. I could be wrong. Something about the distribution of the airdrop, I believe, or along those lines. 1.3 billion market cap. I think that this, honestly, we're probably going to see a minimum 20x, but to be safe, I'm not going to throw it any higher than a 25x. Stacks is a layer 2 focusing on bringing more usability to the Bitcoin network, and this is going to be a massive part of the bull run. It's already grown so much this cycle, and it deserves it. You know, there's going to be a big push for this, and I think you're joking if you don't have at least one layer 2 or at least one project focusing on scaling Bitcoin in some capacity, whether it's with transactions or whether it's with DeFi. I personally would go with Audify, right, ordinal finance, like Stacks, for example, being a layer 2 in that regard as well. So I think it's probably up here with the 20x. As for Tron, I'm just going to put it right down here because I'm not too sure about the project. You know, it definitely will more than 5x, maybe just the 10x, just to, you know, be more realistic here, but I don't know too much about it. Over here for Uniswap. Now, Uni is a DeFi king, as we all know, Uniswap, right? They're looking to bring out, I think, these things called Uniswap hooks, which will allow it to be more available for enterprises basically wanting to use these sort of applications in a KYC manner for more, or for less slippage and all that sort of thing, and also for the, you know, access DeFi. It's up 40% in the last week, which is kind of nutty. I still think Uni would be probably a good 15x from the current price. As for Veracity, to be honest with you, I would probably say 72 million market cap. It actually is a deep-in project. I've come to realize it does fall into that category as well. Falls into gaming, falls into other few aspects, but I just don't think it has a massive sex appeal as other projects do in the same category, okay? So for that, I sound like Barbara from Shark Tank, and for that reason, I'm out. Actually, no, it definitely deserves higher than that. I probably would say a 20x, but it definitely could go higher depending on what upgrades come out. XDC Network, I think the market cap last time I checked was in the 800, 500. Wow, it's really down, unfortunately. It's almost back down to its 3 cent level. 20x for this one. For XLM, I mean, it recently launched Soroban, which is its sort of like Web3 application layer for developers, you know, like its EVM compatible smart contract layer, which initially was a big problem with mine because it just didn't have access to Web3, and this is a big part of the 2025 bull run. If your project doesn't have access to Web3 and it's only focused in Web2, that is actually a hindering factor. Now, I think it'll be a positive in the next bull run, but as for this cycle, this is where most of the money is coming from, not Web2, not from utility. You want a project to have utility, but you want to also make it appealing to investors, degens, right? And so for this reason, I'm going to probably put it in a 15x because while my price prediction sheet has something crazy on it, it's like definitely higher than a 15x based on data. I believe XRP and the fact that it's so interconnected with XRP and XRP's performance might be its hindering aspect here. And I think XRP will likely 5x. I don't even see XRP 10xing, but if XRP does 10x, it'll likely come off the back of some really positive news, and that will, of course, probably push, in my personal opinion, XLM to a 20x, maybe even more, okay? Because XLM is more degen appealing now, okay? I've already ranked Casper, obviously. It's the same as this coin over here, and I'm not going to rank this coin, which is a Binance Launchpad, because that was an accident putting it in here, okay? So, guys, with that being said, take a good look at the sheet. That is my final true said and done rankings in this case. Now, some of the rankings on this sheet, as you can see here, are very similar. Some are different, actually. It's kind of funny because they've all kind of moved down a bit, which is what you would take. But some of them have stayed where they are or moved up because the data still supports that they are strong projects. I want to also point out, some will be in the 30x column and some will be in the 20x column. But in reality, they actually, require a 25x score, whatever, because obviously now we're breaking apart those levels more, make it more nuanced, okay? Thank you all. It's been a long one, but if you made it this far, drop a like on the video. It really helps me out, and I'll talk to you all very soon. Take care. Bye.